I'm Sydney Roth Peterson, and this evening I'm here to speak to you about Ron Paul, a great American speaker who not only campaigns for the privacy, but also the liberties of the American citizens. Why does CIA analyst Joe Schmo need to know how many times you've gotten onto Facebook and have watched a cat riding around on a Roomba in a shark outfit? Did you know, at this very moment, there is a cybersecurity bill trying to be pushed through Congress that would encourage private companies such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to use the information that you share with them and give it to the government? Not only would these private companies not be persecuted under the bill, but you'd never really know if they shared your information with the government in the first place. In 2014, 74% of Americans polled by the Pew Research Organization said that they did not want to give up their freedoms, their civil liberties, and their privacy for safety. They did not feel it was necessary, they said. If that's the case, why then is the government still trying to pass bills in which they can just spy on us whenever they please? The Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act is a perfect example of anti-privacy legislation that Ron Paul has spoken out against in public and in Congress throughout his career. To give a little bit of background on Ron Paul here, not only did he graduate with a degree in biology, he went on to study medicine at Duke University, and then, afterwards, went on to be a flight surgeon with the U.S. Air Force. Once he finished serving his time in the U.S. Air Force, he went on to open up his own practice. In 1974, he decided to take on another political career and was soon elected into Congress. He showed a penchant for civil liberties based on his speeches to protect the American people by upholding the Constitution. What does the Constitution really say about privacy? Technically, the Constitution doesn't actually mention privacy in any of its amendments. Really, why would the Founding Fathers really need to mention anything about that? They didn't have the TSA, they didn't need cybersecurity, no emails, no Facebook. Over the last 100 years, the Supreme Court has presided over many cases involving a citizen's private actions deriving what is known to the right to privacy. Under the Fourth Amendment, privacy is implied by protecting you as a citizen from having warrantless searches, or making sure that law enforcement can only search you with probable cause, or, as I stated previously, a warrant signed by a judge. Also from there, one U.S. Justice, Louis Brandeis, even calls it the right to be left alone. Other amendments, such as the Fifth Amendment, the Ninth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment, attribute to the implication of privacy as being a fundamental right. As a citizen, you would think that it would naturally be a fundamental right to have your own privacy. Technically, though, we still have to fight for it. Ron Paul has always voted, spoke, and acted in accordance with the Constitution and in protection of our civil liberties, including the issue of limitations on our liberties written into such legislation as the Patriot Act, which was put into place after the 9/11 attacks in 2001. It is also the act that makes sure you have to provide identification for bank accounts. Also, the Freedom Act. Ron Paul endeavors to educate constituents by informing them of the impositions on their liberties written into proposed bills or amendments to other bills and by Congress. Edward Snowden is well known through the media as the man who blew the cover of the NSA spying on American citizens. Ron Paul describes the situation as, I quote, "One silver lining in the court decision is that it should exonerate Ed Snowden, who risked it all to be exposed what the courts have now found was illegal U.S. government activity. This is the definition of a whistleblower. Shouldn't he be welcomed back home as a hero instead of being threatened with treason charges? We shouldn't hold our breath," end quote. Another of Ron Paul's speeches on this topic, quote, "Get rid of the NSA," quote, he states, "The bigger picture is they have no business doing it in the first place." Even though Ron Paul has now retired from his political career, he still makes it a point to speak about the issues that plague our country, including the ongoing fight for privacy. He blogs, speaks at events, and spends his time running a nonprofit, Campaign for Liberty organization, which is known to be a watchdog group for civil liberties. If you would like to keep watching videos of cats without judgment, of those behind a computer, Ron Paul is the great American speaker to take cues from. End.